Where is Dayton Brown, and what's really happening with Gabe? These aren't just throwaway questions anymore. They've become the heartbeat of a fandom that's been holding its breath. For longtime Sister Wives viewers, these mysteries aren't about drama for drama's sake. They're about answers, about closure, about making sense of the unraveling story of a family. We've all followed through countless twists, turns, and heartaches. And let's be real, we're not just watching a show anymore. We're witnessing the slow, painful transformation of a once-united family into something unrecognizable. The original dynamic, it's gone. What we're seeing now is a whole new chapter filled with uncertainty, silence, and secrets. And fans are left wondering, is this the final page, or is a new, messier chapter about to begin? Welcome back, everyone. If you've watched to this video, chances are you're as emotionally invested in the Brown family drama as I am. And I'm so happy you're here because today we're lifting the veil on what's really happening. We're digging into the mysterious disappearance of Dayton Brown, the dramatic twists in Gabe's life, and what it all might hold for the future of Sister Wives. And yeah, Christine's forthcoming tell-all book that could potentially blow this whole story wide open. But first, let's discuss what Season 19 left on the table. While the credits rolled on the season finale, one question rang out throughout fan groups everywhere. Will Season 20 happen? Or have we at last seen the conclusion to a show that once redefined the term family for millions? This isn't curiosity, it's a mass hunger for resolution. Fans who endured every tearful admission and every argument that seemed to blow up in their faces are asking themselves, what's next? And truthfully, it's not an unreasonable question. Season 19 wasn't merely another installment. It was draining even for the die-hard fans. Cody's constant showdowns, the tragic loss of Garrison, the subdued departures of Mary, Janelle, and Christine, each leaving behind the dream they once attempted to construct with one another. By the finale, the show's foundation wasn't merely cracked, it was shattered. The initial concept for wives, one husband, and one roof already feels like a recollection from another lifetime. Here's the thing. When something disintegrates this utterly, it doesn't necessarily mean it's done. Sometimes it means something new is attempting to be born. So, what went wrong with Dayton? What's Gabe actually been through? And might Christine's new novel reveal secrets we never saw coming on TV? Christine has moved on and remarried. Really? And finally, Janelle. She's forging her way to independence, working on healing and self-discovery. And Mary, after all those years of emotional loneliness, finally broke free. She's left the pain behind. That only leaves one person remaining standing by Cody Robin. But honestly, even that relationship feels like obligation rather than love, sinking ship rather than partnership. And yet, apart from the broken up relationships and emotional damage, there's a lingering feeling that not all has been spoken, not all has been done. There remain untold stories still left in the air, such as McKelty and Tony's surprise cross-country relocation to North Carolina. That's a big life change that receives scant investigation. Or Mary closing down Liz's heritage in prompting fans to wonder, is she transforming entirely? Then there's Janelle's farm life, something viewers have wondered about for years, but has yet to be fully explored on television. And don't forget Coyote Pass, that notorious land which once represented a Doover, but has become one of the greatest causes of conflict in the family. There are whispers it could be sold, but no resolution. No resolution. And perhaps that's the reason why many fans are feeling exhausted. Season 19 didn't just push our patience to the limit. It pushed our emotional boundaries. Cody losing his mind after Christine left and the heartbreaking death of Garrison was cringeworthy, painful even. His grieving was real, yes, but it came with an outer layer of control, anger, and blame. And for many viewers, that was too much. What had initially seemed like a compelling family saga soon started to resemble emotional devastation being hashed out for too long, and now the cries are becoming more insistent. Perhaps it's time for something new. Not one more season of Sister Wives as we've come to know it, but a complete reboot. A do-over. One focused on the women and their paths post-Cody. A spin-off that celebrates strength, growth, and healing, not dysfunction. Fans want to see resilience now, not regret. But as of now, TLC remains silent. No official announcements, no teasers, no confirmation of what's next. It's radio silence, typical for the network this time of year. If anything's coming, we'll likely hear whispers by August. Until then, we're all just holding our breath, wondering, is there still a story left to tell? Or did season 19 quietly close the book on the Brown family saga for good? And yet, amid the chaos, one quiet, surprising light has begun to shine. Gabriel Brown. Gabe has been scarce in the limelight in recent seasons. And to be honest, that airspace was likely needed. His marriage to Cody collapsed during the pandemic in one of the most painful storylines the show has ever produced. Who can forget the episode Gabe broke the news that Cody had forgotten his birthday? That wasn't television drama. That was raw hurt served up in real time. Fans didn't watch. They felt it. But now in 2025, Gabe appears to be getting his life back slowly, quietly, and in his own way. Janelle posted a recent long-absent update that made waves among the fans. A heartwarming moment between Gabe and his girlfriend while the family dropped by. One single post, but it spoke volumes of healing, of growth, of a young man attempting to piece back together something from the shattered remains. In typical Gabe style, his girlfriend never showed up in any of the pictures Janelle posted. And that silence is deafening. Gabe is living life on purpose, away from the cameras, away from the family soap opera, and away from the noise that used to fill his world. Privacy obviously means a lot to him. And after all he's been through, can anyone blame him? But what really surprised fans wasn't so much what he tweeted. It was how he appeared. Healthier, happier, lighter. Not only in body, although the visible weight loss is apparent, but in spirit, in stature, in presence. It's the sort of calm that only follows. Quitting something that used to shatter you. And fans sensed it immediately. Comments poured in, lauding his strength, hailing his change, and most of all, uttering heartfelt pride. For longtime watchers, watching Gabe in this place of peace. After all, the turmoil was akin to a shared sigh of relief. There's even rumor that Gabe has moved to Chicago, a new city for a new beginning. Makes sense. A new relationship, a more subdued lifestyle, and hopefully an emotional landscape that's nothing like he knew growing up. Gabe has never been anything less than one of the Brown family's more introspective, more emotionally intelligent members. And that was precisely what made his break with Cody so difficult to watch. His hurt was deep, particularly when his birthday was forgotten during the pandemic. A moment that will remain in viewers' hearts even now. That wasn't just a date forgotten. That was a sign of detachment, of emotional rejection. But here's the lovely thing. Gabe isn't repeating the patterns. He's penning a new narrative, one based on self-respect and gentle growth. He's not oversharing his journey on social media, and he doesn't need to. The flashes we do see say it all. Healing doesn't always require a spotlight. Sometimes it just requires space. And that's why Gabe's transformation is speaking to fans. In the midst of the chaos of Cody's deteriorating relationships and TLC's continued silence regarding the show's future. Subtle evolution is a beacon of hope. A reminder that even when your world comes crashing down on national TV, you can rebuild something lovely, something earthy, something authentic. For viewers exhausted by chaos, Gabe's tale is a beacon of hope, a gentle, consistent reminder that not all of the Brown kids are necessarily going the route of disruption. There are those who are leaving happily because of it. And yeah, just when you thought this could not get more transparent, Christine Brown is no longer merely surviving outside of the Brown family. She's thriving. And now she's prepared to tell her truth loud and clear. That's right. Christine's highly anticipated tell-all memoir is officially in the works. And it's already stirring up big waves in the Sister Wives world. Year after year, Christine's fans have eagerly anticipated she would tell her side of things. Unedited, unfiltered, and altogether untroubled. After all, she lived through Cody's emotional abandonment, the gaslighting, the cavalier disregard of her needs. This book is her opportunity to take back the story, to speak the truth, unfiltered by TLC's spin, unmanipulated by producers setting her pain up as plot points, and unedited by being interrupted. In mid-sentence, to be released this September, the memoir is poised to dig deeper into Christine's life in a plural marriage. What it really meant to be wife number 3, what it was like to be put on the back burner for years, and above all, what it cost to finally say enough and leave. Christine just dropped some huge news. She's going on a book tour this fall, and the fans, they're already booking their flights. But it's not all about purchasing a signed copy. It's about standing up for a woman who has utterly rewritten her narrative. The day Christine left Flagstaff and established fresh roots in Utah was the day everything changed. A new beginning, a clean slate, a complete makeover. Now she's remarried, beaming in every picture and living a life that, for the first time in her life, is truly hers. From dishing out cooking secrets on the web to conducting live interviews and now writing a book. Christine has converted her decade of devastation into an empowering new persona. One based on honesty, self-assurance, and self-sufficiency. And this book tour, maybe this is the beginning of something even greater. Public speaking, engagements, talk show appearances, perhaps even her own show dedicated to empowerment and healing. The world is her oyster. But the most empowering thing is that Christine is no longer a supporting character in someone else's book. She's the writer now, literally. And every page she turns is hers and hers alone. For fans who saw her sit through years of being shoved to the side, this is the justice they've long been waiting for. But while Christine is taking center stage, someone else has simply disappeared, and fans are clamoring for answers. Where is Dayton Brown? Not being on recent seasons of Sister Wives isn't just noticeable, it's complete. No appearances at all, no news, no cameos. And in a family as visible as the Browns, that kind of vanishing act doesn't go uncommented. For readers who are not as familiar, Dayton is Robin's oldest son from a former marriage to David Jessup, with Cody's divorce from Mary and his legal marriage to Robin in 2015. A big motivation was to adopt Dayton and her other kids. It was a show turning point, emotional, symbolic, and legal. But even then, Dayton's reaction to the adoption seemed subdued. Robin told us that he has Asperger's, meaning change and emotional shifts can be more challenging. That might have been part of the reason Dayton came up to big moments in the quiet. And perhaps the reason he always seemed quieter than the other Brown kids? Yet, he remained, at least for a time. He never sought the limelight, never caused drama, never caused a stir. And then, simply, without warning, he was gone. No drama. No references, not even a background figure at key family moments such as Garrison's death. Was he present behind the scenes, or did he walk away completely? That's the question. Of course, speculation has swept fan forums. One popular theory is that Dayton is actually living in an RV close to Robin and Cody's residence. It's a theory that picked up steam after one of the Brown children reportedly made a veiled comment. Fans speculate that this is Dayton's way of claiming independence while remaining close to home. Some say he might have dropped out of school at Northern Arizona University and pursued a more peaceful existence. Maybe even off the grid, away from the reality TV factory. I think there's another theory that he's reunited with his biological dad, David Jessup, particularly after David allegedly fought leukemia. While David is also said to be in better health now, fans are curious whether Dayton chose to be with him back then. But the true fact is, we don't know. And that silence, though, it doesn't seem accidental to me. It seems on purpose. protective, purposeful. For a young man who has spent his entire life before the cameras, Dayton's withdrawal from public life could be the most courageous thing he's ever done. A quiet opting out of being a character in a book he didn't choose to be written into. And in a sense, that decision is a resounding echo of something larger, something that's playing out throughout this whole family. The dissolution of what was, the reconfiguring of what's to come, and the individuals striking out on their own. So, what does this all portend for the future of Sister Wives? Perhaps we're seeing the end of the Brown family we knew. Perhaps we're seeing the beginning of an entirely new chapter. One where the true tales aren't of shared husbands and shattered marriages, but of freedom, healing, and the quiet strength of those who opt away. Dayton was always the reserved one. He never appeared interested in the fame, the attention, or developing any sort of public image. Where Logan, Maddie, or even Gwendolyn took their presence to interact with fans or create stories, Dayton kept himself behind the scenes. And perhaps that is the entire story. Perhaps he simply didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Throughout, Dayton's narrative had been largely offered through the voice of someone else, generally Robin's. We hardly ever got to hear from him directly. He was present, yes, but never the focus. And now, with the family on the brink of collapse, the wives embracing their autonomy, and the children coming into adulthood and forging their own ways, Dayton has moved quietly into the background like a specter of sister wives gone by. Present, once important, and now gone without a sound. Perhaps that's on purpose. Perhaps after living his whole life in the public eye, Dayton just decided on peace rather than participation. And really, that may be the healthiest choice of all. Dayton Brown is now one of the largest enigmas in the Sister Wives universe. Not for scandal, not for drama, but for his silence. And in a family where anything and everything is shared and dissected, that silence is more powerful than any tabloid headline ever could be. As the cameras documented Cody's breakdown, the wife's emotional transformation, and the new generation taking center stage, Dayton slipped out quietly, and fans haven't stopped speculating why. There are many theories, and the most debated, the RV theory. That Dayton is living in a trailer that is situated outside Robin and Cody's house. It's been proposed in Reddit forums suggested by Peyton's son and mentioned as a sort of compromise, his own place, yet near the family. To some, it's freedom. To others, it's a move to establish boundaries in a house filled with emotional discord. And then there's the speculation that Dayton completely went off the grid. That he's opted out of connectivity. Perhaps even a spiritual or personal withdrawal from the din of living under constant public scrutiny. And on some level, who could fault him? From being adopted on national television to dealing with Cody's lofty expectations and the ceaseless family drama. Perhaps Dayton just reached his breaking point. Another option, and that he's reunited with his biological dad, David Jessup. David has experienced some health issues the past few years, but allegedly he's better now. If Dayton did move in with him, it would mean that he's looking for something more stable, more grounded, a place far from performance and pressure. Whatever the truth is, the fact that we don't know is what keeps everyone talking. Dayton has accomplished something that none of the other Brown children have been able to vanish outright. No social media, no cameos, no apologies, just gone. And that vanishing, it's not failure, it's a choice, a powerful one. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think happened to Dayton Brown? Do you think he's opting for privacy? Is he keeping his distance from Cody? Or do you think he's just done with the cameras altogether? Drop your theories in the comments. No judgment, just real talk. Because in a family where everything has been shown, dissected, and replayed, Dayton's absence remains the one mystery no one can quite solve. And that mystery, that's what keeps fans coming back, hoping that someday we'll get the full story. So here's where things stand. Sister Wives may or may not return. Gabe is minding his own business, living in a new era of his life. Christine is preparing to unveil her reality to the world. And Dayton, he remains the Brown family's biggest unresolved mystery. There's so much going on, and yet so many questions left dangling in the air. If you like this analysis, give this a like. Subscribe for more in-depth analysis. And don't forget to leave your comments below. Most importantly, your speculations about where Dayton could